Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called for UN reforms, stressing that the time is ripe to assess United Nations' role and relevance in today's world and to shape a better future for it. He was delivering a virtual keynote address at this year's high-level segment of the UN Economic and Social Council session of the United Nations. The Prime Minister assured that with its deep commitment to maintaining global harmony and to preserve the nature's balance, India will play its role in full support of the UN's agenda as a member of UNSC. News coming in from Rajasthan, Sachin Pilot and 18 other Congress dissident MLAs got a 4-day reprieve from any action by the Assembly Speaker on disqualification notices served on them after Rajasthan High Court extending its hearing on the issue to next week. The division bench of the court hearing the dissident MLA's petition against the Speaker's notices adjourned on Friday evening. It fixed the next hearing for 10 a.m. on Monday. The counsel for the Speaker assured the court that no order shall be passed on the notice till 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday. The court also asked Congress Chief Whip Mahesh Joshi to respond to the dissidents' petition by Saturday. Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan co-chaired the second India-US Strategic Energy Partnership ministerial meeting along with US Secretary of Energy on Friday. Both the sides agreed to build strategic petroleum reserve. India and the US signed an MOU for collaboration of strategic oil reserves, including India using American storages for storing its oil as the two nations look to deepen energy ties. Addressing the virtual meeting, Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan invited enhanced participation from American companies in the oil and gas sector. Up next, our weather news. Flood situation in Assam remains grim as over 3,000 villages in 28 districts are still submerged. Over 100 people have lost their lives due to floods and landslides, while around 36 lakh people have been affected across the state. Dhubri, Goalpara, Barpeta and Morigaon are the worst hit, with above 4 lakh affected in each district. More than 51,000 inmates are taking shelter at 304 relief camps across the state. About 1,28,000 hectares of cropland still remains inundated. The flood situation in Bihar remains grim, with rivers in the state overflowing. Floodwater has spread over various other parts of the state. Over 2,88,000 people living in 8 districts are badly affected due to floods. Now, according to a report submitted by the State Disaster Management, out of 8 districts, Darbhanga is the most affected, where 1,58,000 population of 30 Gram Panchayats located in 4 subdivisions are affected by the floods. 9,845 people have been evacuated from various flood-affected areas. More than 2,000 people are living in relief camps. The Met Department has predicted light to moderate rainfall in some parts of the state during the next 24 hours. The Indian Met Department has said that intensity of rainfall is likely to increase over the northern and northeastern parts of the country in the next 3 days. The IMD said that monsoon trough lies to the south of its normal position and it is most likely to shift northwards gradually towards foothills of Himalayas from July 18th onwards. It said due to the favorable meteorological conditions, isolated heavy to very heavy rains are likely over northwest India from today onwards. Extremely heavy rainfall is also likely over sub-Himalayan West Bengal. In Odisha, in the wake of rising COVID-19 cases, the state government has imposed complete lockdown in 4 districts from 9 p.m. on Friday to midnight of 31st July. The lockdown will be in force in Ganjam, Jajpur, Cuttack and Khordha districts and Rourkela Municipal Corporation in Sundargarh district. However, essential services will be permitted, while some offices of central and state governments would be allowed to function during the lockdown. Uttarakhand government has also imposed statewide lockdown on Saturday and Sunday amid rising number of COVID-19 cases. The announcement has come a day after 199 COVID-19 positive cases were reported across the state, taking the total number of COVID-19 cases to 3,982. Uttarakhand Chief Minister, however, said that the decision applied only to this week and fresh assessment of the conditions and the necessary containment measures will be made on a weekly basis. In major success of the army in Jammu and Kashmir, 3 unidentified terrorists have been killed in an ongoing encounter. The encounter broke out between security forces and terrorists in Amshipora area of Shopian. According to officials, a joint team of Kashmir Police, 62 Rashtra Rifles and CRPF launched a cordon and search operation in the wee hours after forces received specific inputs about the presence of few terrorists in the area. The search operation turned into an encounter after the hiding terrorists opened fire at the forces from the cowshed of the lone house in an orchard. The forces retaliated to the gunfire, thus ensuing a gun battle between the two sides. The operation is underway. It is a second encounter between security forces and terrorists in the last 24 hours in Kashmir. Singapore Zoo unveiled a pair of rare twin red-ruffed lemurs after coronavirus restrictions muted the celebrations of their rare arrival. The yet-to-be-named twins, who were born on February 22, are the first births of the critically endangered species in the zoo since their 11-year-old father, Bosco, was born. The postponed Tokyo Olympics will be held at the same venues and under the same schedule as planned before. The games were delayed due to the novel coronavirus pandemic. Tokyo Games Organizing Committee on Friday confirmed. The Olympic opening ceremony is scheduled to start on July 23rd next year, in keeping with a plan to officially begin the games on 4th Friday of the month. Tokyo Olympics were originally slated to be held this year between July 24th and August 9th, before the outbreak of the novel coronavirus resulted in the unprecedented one-year postponement. Softball tournament will start 2 days before the opening ceremony, as also planned prior to the postponement in northeastern Fukushima Prefecture. Also, IOC and organizers have vowed that the games will go ahead and have said that they cannot be postponed again. Both have said that if they cannot be held this time, they will be cancelled.